And in the UK, British Airways has started emailing passengers to cancel flights 2 weeks ahead of another strike by pilots. The industrial action on the 27th of September is expected to affect hundreds of flights and tens of thousands of passengers. Well, let's bring in Juliana now to tell us more. Hello, Juliana. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chimize.
All right, Juliana, if you can hear me, BA is cancelling 27 September flights ahead of next pilot strike. Now, the question many have asked is, can strike hit BA rebuild its reputation?
Well, that's a really important question, a question that lots of economists and analysts around the UK are wondering because, you know, the days of BA calling itself the world's favourite airline are well and truly over. The issue that they face is that when you have a continuous amount of issues, whether it's stranded passengers, loss of baggage, infighting, these culminate into your profile. And the profile that British Airways have at the moment is an airline that's pretty unreliable. To kind of rub salt into the wounds, last month they were celebrating their 100-year history, and that kind of was married with a reputation management company called Iva, placing BA 55th in of airlines out of 65. That just shows how dire it is at the moment. And there are questions. A lot of people are wondering, why are BA not giving in to their pilots? Of course, there have been strikes that have taken place. Hundreds of thousands of passengers were affected this week. They've been making calls to passengers this morning, cancelling their flights. And people are saying, why can't they give in? If what the pilots are asking for is in total of about £50 million over 3 years, and 1 day of strike costs £40 million, then clearly there's a problem with management. And that's the question that's been raised. But, you know, who knows? Downing Street, the British government have got involved. They've asked them to sort it out. BALPA, the union representing the pilots, said they are willing to talk, and so has BA. So who knows? This time next week, the discussion may be completely different.
All right, and we've seen the FTSE 100 be a little lower in the morning. And of course, we had the SSE was among the biggest gainers after announcing that deal with OVO. Update us with the market's activities, particularly as the London Stock Exchange is set to have rejected the buy offer from Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And of course, give us your outlook for next week.
Okay, so let's have a look at those numbers then. The FTSE All-Share is up by 0.07%. The FTSE 100 is down by 0.03%. And the FTSE 250 is up by 0.52%. In currencies, very, very good day for sterling. The British pound is up on the US dollar by 1.02%, which is huge. Up on the euro by 0.68% and up on the Japanese yen by 0.93%. Yes, SSE, they've been bought by a very small kind of new energy company called OVO. As soon as that £500 million deal was announced this morning, their shares rose by 1.1%. SSE had really been focused on housing as well as creating energy. And they said that's where they want their market to be. They don't want to be in the very competitive retail market. OVO before only had 2% a market share. Taking over SSE, they now have about 18% of the market, putting them just under the giants British Gas. So that's a really big story for those two. And of course, Chimize, you know, next week you can't avoid Brexit. A lot of people are saying we're getting closer to a likely outcome of four scenarios, one being that Boris Johnson manages to secure a deal which will benefit hardline Brexiteers and those who want to remain. The other is that there will be no deal, so he'll try and break the law or push it to its extreme. Another could be that he could resign if he feels as if he cannot get a deal and he doesn't want to ask for that extension. That could be a possibility. And last but not least, he could request for an extension, but he has said he'd be dead in a ditch. But who knows? You know, 24 hours is a long time. So by the time it gets to Monday, anything could have happened.
Definitely. We'll wait and see what happens. Actually, I don't envy Boris Johnson at this point. It's been a great week with you, Juliana. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you, Chimize.
And still ahead on the program, South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry holds stakeholders meeting with the police on xenophobic attacks. Do stay with us.